I'm lying. Yeah. 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 Nuno, you got to chill. You can't be jumping up here while I'm live, baby. You got to chill, Nuno. Gun Freak Nation. What they do? I want to say rest in peace to I'm gonna say rest in peace to Alex Pretti. Brother lost his life. Feel me? Shout out to the 2 people that's in here. Just checking the live out, man. And I just want to come. Man, fuck it. Hey, turn that hallway out for you, brother. Yeah. I just want to speak my mind tonight. A lot of fucked up shit going on in the world right now. But it always breaks my heart when I see somebody get their life took, you know, unnecessarily. This is why I tell everybody, you got to be savage ready at all times. That's why I said fuck the name T. That's it. Fuck Rockstar T. I'm gonna rename this bitch Savage Ready TV because I need everybody to be savage ready out there. You feel me? Because the devil is out there. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about how this decent human being lost his fucking life unnecessarily. Shit, I don't even know where I'm gonna start. I don't even know where to begin. I'm just gonna try to, get everything that I've been thinking about, man. First and foremost, rest in peace and condolences go out to his family, and rest in peace to all of the victims of the world. People that's done been unalive because they just wasn't being savage ready. I'll say this, I've talked to many people. I'm hearing different stories. I'm hearing he was a provocateur. I'm hearing that he was part of the bullshit, the part of the crew that antagonizes ICE. I really don't give a fuck about none of that at the end of the day. I really don't give a fuck about what he did. I'm focused on how he died. It don't matter if he was a initiator, a provocateur, an antagonizer. At the end of the day, an unarmed man that was, let me rephrase that, a disarmed man was executed at the end of the day. And if people don't have a problem with that, man, y'all some cold-hearted motherfuckers. I'm gonna be honest with you. You some cold-hearted motherfuckers. I don't give a fuck. Hold on 1 second, y'all. I ain't even got my comments put on and shit, you know. The way that man went out, and I get it. Let me say this. I'm gonna say this shit right. Hold on. What up though, nephew? You know what's good. It really don't give a fuck. You know, people texting me and shit, emailing me and shit. Well, he did this. He was part of the people that was antagonizing. He was interfering. He was impeding. It doesn't matter, man. At the end of the day, this man was disarmed. He was disarmed and then executed. Gun put right to the top of his head while he was down on his knees. One hand touching the ground. The other hand had a phone and had a cell phone. The guy was just trying to, you know, document everything, man. This shit, it just rubbed me the wrong way. And you got people that might be leaning towards the right conservative, you know, the right wing, and then you got the left wing. Both of them got in my opinion, both got the extreme sides. Okay? You got crazy motherfuckers on the right. You got crazy motherfuckers on the left. Both of them motherfuckers is equally crazy and equally dangerous, in my opinion. So, of course, people going to be biased because they picking a side. And they're going to be biased and they're going to be like, well, it's his fault. He was a dumbass that brought a gun. And I'm going to touch on that right now. Sometimes I don't give a fuck about the laws and the legalities and your rights and all that shit. Following that shit will get you fucking killed. If you strictly one of them type of people, well, it's my right. I can do this. I have my license. But at the same time, you still got to have goddamn common sense. You should have never brought that fucking gun with you if you knew that you was going to be in a hostile environment. You should have never have brought that. You should have left that gun, that firearm in your vehicle. Because guess what? You got all these motherfuckers saying, well, he had every goddamn right to carry his gun, which is true. It's true. But you also got to have common sense. You also got to think ahead and be like, what if this scenario go left? What if I get involved, unknowingly get involved in a situation where they pat me down, where they frisking me? I don't know these motherfuckers. I don't know how they're going to react if they find a fucking gun on me. I don't know if we got a cop that's scared for his life. I don't know if we got a trigger happy cop. Those are the things that you got to contemplate when you carrying a gun in a hostile environment like that. I would have never done that shit. I would have never carried my gun. I'm gonna tell y'all something. I went marching with New Era Detroit last summer. I went on a march with them where I walked through the neighborhood. It was called Brothers Walking Through the Hood. When me and First Lady pulled up, because it was men only, she wanted to come. I told her, you can't because it's men only. But I left my firearm in my vehicle with her because I didn't know how they was going to receive me. They don't know me. I know of them, but they don't know me. And I don't know how they would receive me approaching them and I'm armed. Even though I'm concealed, I'm still armed. I know that I'm armed. So I said, you know what? That's not a good idea because they might take offense to that. They don't know me. Even though I got my right to carry, I got my CPL. my concealed pistol license, but they don't know me. And I wouldn't want somebody, if I got an organization like that and I don't know you, I don't know what your intentions are. You can't trust everybody. So I left my shit in my vehicle, in my car. Alex Pretti, rest in peace, my brother. You seem like a decent man, a decent human being. And you died doing something that you believed in. And I got to salute you for that. You know what I'm saying? I got to salute you for that. You died doing something you believed in, but I felt like it was unnecessary. If you would have simply have left your weapon in your vehicle, you would still be here. Sometimes you can die on some dumb shit. Get yourself killed on some dumb shit. You know, I don't give a fuck. You gotta watch a person that, well, I don't give a fuck if I die or not. It's my right. It's you know, I'm legally armed. It's my God-given right. I got my license. So fuck the police, fuck whatever environment, hostile environment I may find myself in. It's my right. And you absolutely right to think like that. But make sure that when shit go left, put that shit in your obituary. Have that shit you know, wrote on your tombstone. Because at the end of the day, you still gotta have common fucking sense. Just like the woman that was killed 3-4 weeks ago. When you simply could have just complied. You sitting in your vehicle, this big ass fucking truck, didn't give a fuck. And when them cops surrounded you, what you do? Instead of you complying to them, getting out the car like they ordered you to do, you began to try to escape, which put one of the officers in the line of, you know, he was in front of your car. What the fuck outcome did you think was going to happen? Sometimes you just got to think, man. If you're going to be a stupid motherfucker like that, then you need to keep your ass at home. Because a lot of this shit that's happening is people that may be the most intelligent. I hear this. Mr. Pretti was a nurse, which means he was intelligent and shit, but he should have had street sense, street smarts. You doing some shit that you just don't do. Now, here in the Gun Freak Nation, I don't be trying to make shit. I don't try to racialize none of this shit. Because at the end of the day, in my opinion, we're all human beings. And when you come here, you share whatever that you are, religion, whatever race, none of that shit mean nothing to me. What's important to me is your soul. But that's here in Gun Freak Nation. Soon as I step out my fucking door, I'm still a black man in America. And I love my country. I'm willing to die for this motherfucker if a motherfucker trying to kill me or whatever, or harm my family. I'm willing to die. You understand? But I know that since I've been a child, it's certain things that I know I can't do. Because I'm going to be looked at, I'm going to be side-eyed because I am a black man. You understand? So it's just things that you just don't do, even though it's your God-given right. You know what I'm saying? But you still got to have common sense. You know, so what I've noticed, a lot of shit, the white people in Minnesota, Minneapolis, shit, them niggas is being treated like black folk now. That we've been treated like that forever, man. You know, I say that this Alex Pretti, this is the 2026 George Floyd. And I still think that this is not going to be the end. It's not going to be the end, man. You know, he had every right to carry his gun, but carrying that gun to a hostile environment got him killed. He didn't have the wherewithal to be like, damn, what if this situation, what if something happened? And you know, first and foremost, here in Michigan, where I reside, here in Detroit, Michigan, anytime when you encounter law enforcement, a police officer, whether it's a traffic stop or any other kind of encounter, you have to let them know. First and foremost, you got to let them know that you are armed and that you got your CPL, your concealed carry license, and that you have a weapon on you. Your firearm is on you. That's number one. That's law. Here in Michigan, in the great state of Michigan, that's law. You got to let them know ahead of time. Before you even say hi or hello or how is your day, officer. You got to let them know. And that's very crucial and very important. Now, I don't know the exact, details of what happened that day during that incident. But if he would have simply have said, listen, when they tackled him down, he could have been like, fuck the phone. Here's my hands. I'm legally armed. I have my license. And my gun is on me. Maybe that would have saved his life. But see, here's the thing. These ICE officers, man, think about this shit. Every day, when they go out to arrest and deport a violent motherfucker, we talking about rapists, murderers, pedophiles, the worst of the worst. It's like when Biden was president, all the other countries just let the worst, of their society, they basically emptied their prisons and let the motherfuckers come over here. Same thing that happened in the 80s with the over in Cuba when Fidel Castro emptied his fucking prisons and sent all these motherfucking criminals over here back in the 1980s. How many of y'all old enough to remember that shit? Reagan allowed that shit to happen. How do you think the movie Scarface came to be? That motherfucker came, he was on one of the motherfucking boats. So same thing they did. That's why I didn't give a fuck when Trump got that nigga Maduro and kidnapped him, because he emptied all his prisons and let them motherfuckers send them motherfuckers straight over here, where they came over here, and a lot of women, if it wasn't for that, a lot of women would still be here, would still be alive. But them fucking savages, them illegal alien savages got a hold to them and raped and murdered them. I still say Biden and Kamala got blood on their hands. So you got to look at it like this. You got ICE, you got the ICE agents. This is no knock on them. I appreciate the work that they do. Getting some of these illegal rapists and murders who want them motherfuckers to be here. It's bad enough that we are already dealing with enough American-born savages. But then we got fucking savages from Honduras, from Venezuela, from who knows what else. And over there, it ain't shit for them to commit a crime and get away with that shit. And for them to see a woman and be like, damn, she look good, she by herself, she mine, I'm gonna get her. That's the mentality. And I'm not disking or disrespecting nobody that live over there in them countries. I love everybody and got appreciation for everybody. But at the end of the day, a fucking savage is a fucking savage. But it's even worse when your funky ass don't even supposed to be in this country in the first place. So let ICE do their motherfucking job. That ain't nothing. That, to me, that's not a noble cause to be protesting against rapists and murderers and pedophiles being deported back to the countries where they fucking come from. How's that a noble cause? Why is you motherfuckers on the front line fighting for these motherfuckers to stay here. Let these ICE police officers or whatever the fuck they are, let them niggas do their fucking job. So you got to look at it from their perspective. They trying to do a job to get these dangerous, illegal alien savages off the streets of America. But you got motherfuckers blocking the traffic with their vehicles, whistles and shit, blowing their fucking whistles, just antagonizing. Can you imagine you go to work? I'm pretty sure some of y'all in here got jobs, so y'all work, right? Can you imagine on your job, you trying to focus on doing your job, and you got a motherfucker in your ear blowing a fucking whistle, just doing all kind of shit, videotaping you and all that shit, distracting you, disrupting you, your workflow. So that's exactly what's happening to these ICE agents and shit. So of course, they get frustrated. Of course, they get mad. You know what I'm saying? They're getting picked on and antagonized. I'm just trying to be fair and look at it from both sides. So when a motherfucker antagonizing you, man, you ain't gonna be gentle handling them. You're not gonna be gentle. I'm just calling it how it is, the way I see it. So my thing is, he took his gun with him to a potential violent environment. He saw this woman that should have not even been out there. This ain't even your motherfucking fight. The ICE agent threw her down, pushed her down on the ground, and he was trying to be a gentleman and help her back up, man. And that's when they, targeted him. And the shit didn't end well. And the part that's most fucked up is that the brother died. He was shot after he was disarmed, man. They took the gun off of him. That tells me that these ICE motherfuckers ain't trained very well, because the officer that took the gun that disarmed him, he should have let it be known that, hey, he's disarmed now, unless he got another gun on him. I don't know. But a lot of people were saying that the cop that took the gun off of him, that disarmed him, the gun discharged and fired, which in turn freaked out the other cops, and they just let loose on them, man. But I'm thinking like this: how the fuck is you gonna gun somebody down? How are you going to shoot somebody and you clearly looking at their hands? Because if somebody break in my house, I'm not looking at their face. I'm not looking at their feet. They stinking ass feet. I ain't looking at their stinking ass feet, and I ain't looking at their ugly ass face. They probably gonna have a mask on anyway. I'm looking at hands, because hands is what's hands is what can fuck you up. Hands, what's in your hands is what can kill you. So I'm looking at hands, and you break in my house, and I see that you armed, you got a gun in your hand. I'm gonna get you before you get me. So what my question is, was they not looking at his hands? Did they not see that he had a cell phone in one hand and his other hand was on the ground? It's like they didn't give a fuck. It's like they lost control over that situation. And number two, you got 5, 6 officers, ICE agents, officers on one man. You mean to tell me 5 motherfuckers, 6, it might have been 6, couldn't get this man handcuffed, couldn't get control over this man's hands? Make this shit make sense. You had some, obviously these motherfuckers are not trained properly. They're not, in my opinion, the whole situation was just wild and just motherfuckers. It was just niggas they just lost their fucking mind, and somebody might have been trigger happy or even scared. And when that first shot went off, which I think was a negligent discharge from the dumbass agent that disarmed him, the fucking gun, and they said it was a SIG P320 or 120 or whatever the fuck. The only SIG guns I ever owned was the Rattler and the MPX, and they were spot on, immaculate. But I hear that one of them SIG guns can just go off for no motherfucking reason. You know what I'm saying? I would never, if I had one, I would never carry one in the motherfucking head, because that might be what could have happened. I don't know. I don't know. But all I know is that a disarmed man lost his life. Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me click on this. A disarmed man lost his life, man. And the whole situation, in my opinion, the whole situation is, you know, I can understand with the woman that was killed, because she did use her car. You know, it could have been, I would have perceived it as a deadly weapon coming at me, you know. So, I mean, I would have did what I had to do to survive. You feel me? But this situation right here, his shooting was totally unnecessary. And all this shit could have been avoided if he would have simply left his firearm in his vehicle. It could have been simply, you know. And then what I also don't like is the Trump administration. You got Kash Patel, this motherfucker. You got the bitch, what's her name, Naomi or whatever the fuck, Naum or whatever. This bitch, the head of the Homeland Security bitch. They all going on there calling this man a terrorist. He went there to cause maximum death to the ICE agents. He had 2 full loaded mags. Oh, he had a rep in a mess motherfucking destruction. You listen to these motherfuckers, you would think this motherfucker was a bigger terrorist than Osama bin Laden. After you got done hearing what they said, they didn't waste no motherfucking time. They didn't waste no motherfucking time assassinating this man's character. Most motherfuckers that conceal carry have more than one mag on them. That's not against the law. But for them to do that and dirty up that man's name, dirty up, you know, his character. This man was a nurse. And in my opinion, nurses, doctors, police officers, military people, anybody that put their life or willing to put their life on the front line to save somebody else's life, or, you know, the country, when the country send them out on some bullshit and they willing to lose their life over some bullshit, I got nothing but respect and I salute them. So this man, he worked, I believe, at a veterans hospital, man. He took care of our heroes that's on fought in wars, and so to me, he all good. He good by me, man. I think he was righteous. I think he had a pure golden heart to do that. I just wish that he would have just used his common sense and left that fucking gun in his vehicle. But some people will argue with you all day and be like, nah, it was his right. This is the United States of America. That gun was in his name. He legally, purchased that gun. You know, he had his license, and I get it. But at the same time, you need to get this. When the shit hit the fan, and when in the fog of war, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, when you are in a heated, hostile situation, man, that shit can go left. I'm already 2 steps ahead. I would have never, ever took my motherfucking loaded firearm. I don't give a fuck whether the motherfucker was loaded or not loaded. I'm not going to take it when I know that it could potentially be a hostile situation that I'm involving myself in. So when you look at it, Alex Pretti and Renee Good, they put themselves in a position to what happened to him, man. I'm telling y'all right now, you got to utilize your common sense. You got to. You know what I'm saying? So, number one, don't get involved in this situation. Keep your ass at home. Things have gotten so fucking bad that even white folk are being murdered, just like black folks was. Like I say, this Alex Pretti, the new George Floyd. That's George Floyd for white people, man. And I don't even like talking racial on my channel, but it is what it is. They killed a disarmed man. No, in the fog of war, and all the confusion and all of the struggle. And number one, man, I'm gonna tell you something right now. I wouldn't have brought my gun, but if I did bring my gun, I wasn't gonna even get close to them motherfuckers. I don't give a fuck if they did knock that woman down. That woman shouldn't have had her ass there. She should have left her funky ass at home. That's where she should have been at. But when he saw them push her down, he called himself going over there to her aid and helping her. And that's what got his ass killed. If you got your gun on you, you stay away from the police as far as you can. But you shouldn't have, oh my God, man. But we have a special guest, Gun Freak Nation, in here tonight. I have my brother from another mother, and I don't easily say that, but we have brother James Walker in the building tonight. He's blessing us, Gun Freak Nation, with his presence. This brother I really do love and respect. This brother has been to my home, okay? Right there. He even went in my bedroom with me and the first lady. Now, we didn't do no kinky shit. Now, niggas, get your fucking minds out the gutter. He just wanted to see, you know, because back then, during them days, everybody know who fuck with me know that when I used to do my home invasion videos and all that and shit, I'd be right there on the bed and shit. You know what I'm saying? Right there in the room. How many of y'all been fucking with me since them days when I used to just prop the camera up in front of my fucking bed, and I'll sit on the end of my bed, at the foot of my bed, and First Lady be right there, laying in bed with me. And I had to stop doing that shit because a lot of, you know, freaky motherfuckers was like, put the camera more on the First Lady's feet so I can jack off and all that crazy shit, man. I said, nah, I can't do that. But yeah, so he wanted to see it. He actually put his hand, James Walker actually put his hand down on my bed on the cover. I said, be careful, man. Don't touch no fucking cum stains and all that shit. Don't do that. He didn't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, we got my brother James Walker in the building. I'm about to bring him on to the stage. If I can remember how to bring you to the stage, James. James, are you there, brother? I'm looking at you, but I don't see you. Brother James. Oh, okay, I see you now. Without further ado, and I know this brother got a lot to say. I watched his live he did earlier. And hey man, before I let you in here, you know, we gonna talk, we gonna get on, you know, we slightly got a little difference in opinion on the Kyle Rittenhouse situation. You know, we slightly got but we gonna talk about this, brother. But that ain't why I brought you on here. I just wanna hear your thoughts on. Let me bring you on in here. Fuck this. Let me bring you on in here. Let's bring you on in here, brother. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard, brother James Walker is in the building from the Alert Zone motherfucking TV. Everybody go and subscribe to the brother's channel. He got the incinerator up in this
I got
bitch.
the incinerator.
Yeah, he
I got
that
to shout out
incinerator.
Ice Man for this
So it's
gift.
about to get, y'all know what that goddamn mean. That it's about to get hot up in this motherfucker. You feel me? So James Walker, brother James.
I don't know how good the lighting is, but we're gonna go with it.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you for blessing the nation with your presence, man. We go back a long time.
We go back to when you was doing T Electric with three subscribers.
Yep. That's
when
how
you
far.
was T Electric with 3 subscribers.
Before it was even a Gun Freak Nation, man. So I just want to let you know that I appreciate you, man, for rocking with me, and I rock with you, and it's all about love, man. Love and respect, and being righteous, man. But I just want to hear your thoughts on this situation. Like I'm like damn, what the fuck is going on in Minnesota, man? It's like Minnesota to me is like ground zero. That's where the George Floyd happened. I think that's where Philando Castile happened at too in Minnesota, man. And now we got this. I called it the new George Floyd. How they killed this man after they disarmed him. But I just want to I want to hear your thoughts on just everything, man. The floor is yours. So speak your mind. Talk about whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm just.
First off, thanks for having me on here once again. I'm pretty sure for the people who've been around, they know our meeting story. For the people that's new, they may not know it, but we've done quite a few of these streams together. First off, before I say anything, I want to say I hope everybody is being safe. I hope everybody is okay in the path of this storm, because this thing is very serious. I've known of some people that have lost power, what have you. I've known of some people that's lost power and what have you. So hopefully everybody is safe out there. That's the number one thing for, what's going on with the weather around here. With that being said, woo, this situation of what's going on now with ICE, it has a whole lot of layers to it. There's a whole lot of different angles to it. And look, we don't condone the loss of life in gun tube.
Right.
There's not one gun tuber that has ever told anybody to get armed and go start confusion to look for a reason to shoot somebody. We're not promoting people to go out and shoot people. We tell people to get armed to protect themselves.
Right.
But what we always say, especially those of us who do commentary, because some people in gun tube just basically shoot. Some of us do commentary, and we always say you got to get armed here before you can get armed here. If you're not armed here, this will send you to the graveyard, or it'll send you to the penitentiary. That's one of the places that you'll go.
True.
I'm gonna tell you this. Some people are going to agree, some people are not going to agree. When the George Floyd uprisings happened, I went to downtown Des Moines one night. I went armed, but I left my gun in my car. I'm going to tell you why when I got down there, I left it in the car.
Why?
I understood the environment I was going in. I didn't go to protest. I went to just take video, which I was able to get, but I didn't get it.
You still got that video?
I'm going to look at one of my old phones. I think I have some of that video footage somewhere.
I would love to see that. Put it on your channel. Upload it if you can. I ain't trying to get your channel took again if it's some violence.
No. If I find it, I'll post it. You know me and technology, I'm still learning.
Right.
I just went down there to spectate. And yeah, I knew the environment I was going in. I didn't think it was wise for me to have it on me, even though it's my legal right. I thought about, you don't know what's other people's intention.
Right.
Some of those officers out there literally and really are out there to enforce the First Amendment. They want you to be safe. They don't have an issue with your protest.
Right. Yep.
Some of them are out there looking for trouble. Some of them are looking for trouble. You don't know what you're going to run into. Now, under the Constitution, he had the right to have that gun on him.
Yeah.
When it comes to using common sense, if he jumped in law enforcement's face while they was tussling with somebody, I don't think it was a smart move.
It wasn't.
And unfortunately, man, I'm going to say this about these ICE protests in particular. These guys and girls got people following them around. The things that people have been allowed to get away with during these little ICE protests in the last couple months is jaw-dropping.
It is.
Because I can guarantee you, had that been us out there doing that kind of stuff, it'd be flies and dead bodies everywhere. I'm just keeping it real.
You're right.
Look, this is the thing. This is the point that I was trying to get across to everybody. I'm not some holy and sanctified person. And I don't pretend to be. But I understand the laws of the universe. When you do things with a righteous intention, you're going to prosper. When you do things with an unrighteous intention, you're not going to prosper. It might not be today, might not be tomorrow, might be a couple years from now, it's going to catch up with you.
Yeah.
When I brought up the thing about Kyle Rittenhouse, it took a while for people to get what I was saying. Because I had a couple of people that thought I brought his name out to attack him. What I said, and I'm going to clarify this since we're talking about it. The Kyle Rittenhouse thing set a precedent that it's our constitutional right to protest armed. Now, we're not supposed to be out pointing a gun at nobody.
Yeah.
My only comment about that was he had a lot of people come out and say he had a right to have that gun out there. And that's fine. Well, Alex Pretti, or whatever his name is, I'm sorry if I messed his last name up, had a right to have that gun on him. For whatever reason, he wound up dead, but he had a right to be armed out there. There's a lot of people that feel like he shouldn't have had a gun. Well, you can't in one breath say it was okay for Kyle Rittenhouse to do it, and in another breath say, but he can't have it. See, when you lay a precedent, and I'm going to tell you why Kyle Rittenhouse got so much support. As I said this on my earlier live streaming, I'm going to be very blunt. Kyle Rittenhouse went out there to shoot black people. And he just didn't have nobody that was dumb enough to approach him with a gun and try and take it from him. But he went out there to shoot black people. Kyle Rittenhouse didn't forget about that ass whooping he took in the parking lot when he was beating that little girl up. See, he had a lot of people supporting him. All these men who talk about no man should never hit a woman. Before this happened, a couple of brothers pulled up in that parking lot and put some knots on his head. And he didn't let that slide. So he went out there to hit some black folk. And he's on camera with two black guys telling him, hey, man, don't ask us if we need your help. You was just pointing that gun at us up the street. So he didn't shoot who he went out there for. But the majority of the country was okay with him being armed because they didn't agree with that protest. Well, guess what? There's people that don't agree with the ICE protests. But that don't mean you shouldn't be out there armed. I just seen earlier some dude out in Phoenix or Tempe or somewhere out in Arizona at one of them ICE protests. Hell, he had a mask on and a damn AK-47 strapped to him. He was dressed like he was on Call of Duty. And he said If the police gonna be dressed like this, I'm gonna be dressed like this. But he had the damn gun draped over his shoulder. He wasn't walking around pointing the damn gun. You know what I mean?
What up, though, nephew?
Now,
oh, go ahead. Finish.
Now here's the part about all of this that concerns me. I don't care whether you think Kyle Rittenhouse was right or wrong, whether you think Pretti was right or wrong. Cash Patel opened his fucking mouth.
Fuck Cash Patel.
Cash Patel ain't got a working. He ain't got a working brain cell in that fucking empty head of his. He was a damn conspiracy theorist before Trump became president.
Right.
When he made the statement of if you show up to a protest armed, the FBI coming to get you, do you know some of his staunch supporters is out here turning on him now? Because now they see where this is going.
Right.
The Second Amendment is one thing we're supposed to be colorblind on.
Right.
And we know. And that's been the problem.
Yeah. And that, you know, that's the reality of it all. It's all about what side you on, man. And when people, it's bias at the end of the day, you know. So let me say this, since we touched on the Kyle Rittenhouse, I did a video and I called him a hero. And the reason why I called Kyle Rittenhouse a fucking hero is because I didn't like how the left, these left ring motherfuckers, crazy motherfuckers, was basically saying that he didn't have the right to defend himself. You understand? Anytime, I don't really, at the end of the day, I really can care less and don't give a fuck about him going out there, which he probably should have kept his ass at home too, just like Alex Pretti should have kept his ass at home. But where I draw the fucking line at, he killed two motherfuckers, I think, or at least one motherfucker he killed that wasn't black. It was a white one, just like him. So the only person that he did kill was another white person like him. I don't know. He might have been Hispanic. I don't know, but I know that it wasn't black. But the thing of it is, when you got some crazy motherfuckers, that the motherfucker that he killed, trying to disarm you, walking up on you, when he clearly see you have a fucking AR-15 in your hand. I put myself in that situation. I feel like if anybody got the balls to try to take my AR-15 out of my hands, if they crazy enough to try to take my AR-15 off of me, then them motherfuckers is crazy enough to use that AR-15 on me, and I die at the hands of somebody taking my gun and being killed by my own gun. So the difference between me and Kyle Rittenhouse is I wouldn't have ran. I would have just shot that motherfucker right then and there. As soon as he even motioned that he was trying to take my shit off of me, I would have sent his ass to Funky Town. It wouldn't have been no fucking chase. But he ran, and these crazy left-wing motherfuckers is chasing him. Who does that? Who chases down a motherfucker that got an AR-15? It usually be the other way around. Niggas running from them. But these crazy motherfuckers was chasing him. So I don't feel bad. Not 1 ounce of tear. None of that shit. They got what they deserve. Lesson learned is you don't chase a motherfucker that got an AR-15. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. Defend himself. Anybody that disagree with that, I can't fucking understand your fucking logic. Because I'm not gonna let somebody run and disarm me and then I don't know whether you're gonna use the gun on me or not, or you might just be trying to take my shit. That's not a risk that T is not gonna take. I'm not gonna let you take my fucking gun and then beg you not to shoot me, or is it a chance you're gonna use this shit on me, or You know, once you take it from me, no, man, I can't. I won't go out like that. The difference between me and him, you wouldn't have had to chase me. I would have been chasing your motherfucking ass if you think you got the balls to take my gun off of me. And I'm not gonna be in the back of my head hoping that you ain't gonna use it against me. That's the reason why I sided with Carl Rittenhouse, purely and strictly on a self-defense situation. You know, and I didn't like it how the prosecutors, well, one of the fucking prosecutors had the nerve to sit up there in that courtroom and say, well, you should have just took an ass whipping. You should have just took an ass whipping. Nah, I think they was going to give him more than an ass whipping. You don't let nobody take your gun off of you. You don't let nobody take your gun. So whatever he did, or is he racist or not, to me, that shit is irrelevant to me. I'm putting it back down to the core of the issue is he had two of them Antifa or whatever the fuck, these left crazy motherfuckers chased him down trying to take his gun. And you got to be a crazy motherfucker to go after, you know, to chase somebody with a fucking AR-15. So if you crazy enough, in my opinion, if you crazy enough to try to chase me down and I'm the one that got the fucking gun, nigga, you crazy enough to take that gun from me and use that gun on me. So that's just my take on it. You know what I'm saying? It was strictly self-defense in my opinion.
You know what? So what overshadowed what you just said was people was angry at the reason he was out there.
Right.
And people was more reacting to why he was out there than what actually happened. You know, I went on another program.
Well, like I say, he shouldn't have even been there to begin with, and he shouldn't have got separated. He shouldn't have separated himself from the people, the group that he was with. But that's either here or there. The bottom line is you had a crazy motherfucker that singled him out. I don't know where it might have been true. He was pointing his gun at people. That was fucked up if he did that shit. But the core of the problem is you get a crazy motherfucker that tried to disarm him, tried to take his gun from him, man. And everybody in their right mind know you let somebody you know, disarm you, you at their mercy. They can take that gun and kill you with your own gun. So I don't give a fuck what nobody say. At the end of the day, you don't let nobody disarm you, man. You know, in a violent manner like that. You know, if it ain't no cop, then that motherfucker, if he disarm you, I'm too motherfucking old right now to be tussling and fighting with a motherfucker. Let a motherfucker run up on me and try to disarm me. I'm going to assume that you're going to use my weapon against me, and I'm going to let you have it. I'm going to send you the funky time. You know, that's the core problem of it. You know, but like you said, people choose what they want to, you know, get involved with or get upset over, and people right now, what you're seeing now, what you're witnessing now, is what you said earlier. I agree with you. Hypocrisy, because when it's on the other side, oh, it's a fucking uproar and all that shit. But when it stays when it stays side and the shit doesn't happen, they against it. So it's a bias. Do you know? I was watching a clip on YouTube of The View. When did these motherfuckers become pro Second Amendment? When did they become pro Second Amendment? You had Ruby Goldberg, the other one. They was all he had his right. He had his right to have his gun. You the same motherfucker that said a few years back, one of the women on there was the same motherfucker that said that this guy broke the law when he took his gun into the mall and he saved numerous people's lives when it was a crazy motherfucker went up in that mall and started gunning people. I think he killed like 2 or 3 people. Remember that? And she her name is Sonny. Her name is Sonny, and she the same one. Instead of saluting that guy and congratulating that guy for being a hero, well, he shouldn't have had the gun on. He shouldn't have had it was illegal. He shouldn't have had the gun in the fucking shopping mall. Well, you dumbass. If he wouldn't have had that gun, more lives would have been took. So that's the hypocrisy what we're saying now, because this Alex Pratt was more so
of what they feel was okay.
liberal.
They feel it was okay for him to be armed, and that's my whole argument.
Right.
The Second Amendment is supposed to be the Second Amendment, and we got to have these discussions so we can get everybody on one page. I want to piggyback off the Kyle Rittenhouse thing into something else. So, yeah, when this first happened, I wasn't happy about it. I went on a regular gun guide. That night that they found him not guilty, he was the one who pulled my coat and said, look, whether you think that gun was legal or not, that's not what we saying. Right. We saying the fact that he had a gun in his hand and the guy tried to disarm him. If that was me, I would have shot him too. And I had to think about it. Look, I had to think about it. And I say, you know what? When you put it in that context, that's true. And that's what these discussions is about. You know what the problem has been? We've been too afraid to have these discussions because the mainstream media has controlled what we thought. Now, being disarmed bring me to a story I was going to do on my channel, but I'll share it here. Okay. In Anaheim Hills, California, I think that was today or yesterday, some guys did a smash and grab at one of these high-end jewelry stores. 2:30 in the evening, drove a car through the front door, backed up. He said at first he thought it was a mistake, and they drove through there again. Jumped out 2 cars, started smashing everything. The owner said he went and got his gun and was telling them, I'm armed, I got a gun. He said because he thought that was going to scare them. Do you know he said that they told him okay and took his gun from him?
What the fuck?
Go and look this up today. We go with this. Anaheim, tell somebody, I can't see the chat. Tell somebody in the chat to look it up. Anaheim Hills. They took his gun from him. Do you know he said that he was afraid they was going to shoot him? And what happened is they fled in some charges and they both wind up turning their cars over. But to have a gun and to have a heads up, he got the opportunity most people only can dream of, that somebody's going to come and break into your establishment or your home, and you're going to have the chance to grab your gun, get in a strategic position, and shoot. And he said he was trying to scare them, telling them that he had a gun, and they took it from him. There ain't no way. It would have been blood all over the walls and the floors. But it's like I say, like you say, and everybody else in this chat room should agree about one thing. That's why we preach. Get that firearm, learn that firearm, keep that firearm on you, because you never know when you're going to need it. Getting a gun don't do you no good. It's like faith without works. It's no good. Having a gun that you ain't going to shoot, you might as well not have a gun. You know what I mean? So, when we come to the Kyle Rittenhouse thing, I'll just use that as I wanted people to understand the law is the law, whether you agree with it or not. You can't say it's okay for Kyle Rittenhouse to be armed at a protest, but Pratt can't be armed because he's setting a dangerous precedent. And then you got to think about it.
Yeah.
Virginia is going through something right now. Virginia, they talking about 18, 19 bills they got on trying to get through. And basically, they're trying to decimate the Second Amendment as much as they can.
Wow.
Also, the support. This is where I want people to understand we got to get out of this left, right when it comes to the Second Amendment. Because the Supreme Court has a conservative majority, 6-3. And yet Maryland still able to practice their assault weapons ban. Illinois still got one. Oregon still got one. Washington got one. California, New Mexico, there's gun bans all over the country with a 6-3 majority. So you can't depend on the Supreme Court, man. You can't depend on them. Look, whether you are Republican, a Democrat, independent, gay, straight, whether you hate everybody in the world, whatever your issue is when it comes to the Second Amendment, you should not celebrate somebody's Second Amendment rights being infringed on, because it's only going to be a matter of time before they turn on yours.
Yeah.
People across the country have let them use Chicago has been the main catalyst for getting gun control passed. People that'll never go to the state of Illinois are always talking about, what about Chicago? You live in Idaho. There ain't no black people there. Why the hell you in Idaho talking about what about Chicago? People have used what about Chicago so much that Illinois was able to use it to get their gun law passed. And you know what? The people downstate regretted that. Because you know, for those of you who don't know, the state of Illinois is a blood red state. Yeah. Cook County, which is where Chicago is, and Springfield, and maybe one other place is actually blue. The rest of the state is pro Second Amendment. Hell, White Island Arms is in Illinois and Springfield. They make them in Illinois, right close to the Iowa-Illinois line. They got manufacturing warehouses over there. People lost their jobs when Illinois passed that assault weapons ban. You know what I mean? So
right. It's crazy, ain't it?
Chicago, and Chicago has been the catalyst to say, yeah, you see Chicago, you see these Negroes, they so violent. Yeah, take the guns out their hand. Okay, now we got the guns out their hand. Now we want yours. Because you was cheering us on when we was doing it to them. Right. Now out there in Virginia, it ain't funny no more. It ain't funny. Like I said earlier, and I'll say this on your program. There's people in this country, their job is to monitor social media.
Right.
Whether they FBI, CIA, your regular police department, whether it's a clothing brand, a gun brand, there's people all over this world that get paid strictly to monitor social media. They watch the videos on whatever genre they're interested in, and they read the comments. These people pay attention to a lot of these gun laws that are getting written. They go and read the comments, and the comments give them ideas of how to etch this thing in stone and basically make it where you can't get around the law. They don't make vague laws anymore. And now in Virginia, people don't think it's funny now. Now they're out here marching and setting a precedent of saying we can't be armed at a protest. A Second Amendment rally without guns is not a Second Amendment rally.
Yeah,
so to say
that's some bullshit.
That moron Cash Patel, that empty-headed nothing. For him to say Americans showing up at protests with guns, I mean, like you say, the quote-unquote liberal channels was coming out talking about how they was against that. When has MSNBC ever been? When has MSNBC and CNN ever talked about it? And I mean, they was talking about it like it was alarming. You know what I mean? Now all of a sudden, because somebody that feels like they feel had their rights impeded on is, well, what about the Second Amendment community? Well, there's a lot of people I don't think is gonna like this. Now the media is drumming up a beat to go after Cash Patel for that statement now.
Yeah, he's a fucking idiot. You know, Trump, I think he hired a bunch of yes people, you know, loyal to him. That's all that shit is, man. He ain't even worthy of that position, nor is that bitch that was talking all that shit about Alex Pratt, you know, calling him a assassin, you know, just dirtying up his name, man. I did not like that shit. That shit didn't sit well with me. And if they'll do it to him, they'll do it to one of us. None of them motherfuckers, left or right, is not to be trusted. You can't trust none of them. They not. I feel like they're not for our best interests, and they don't want us armed. You know, they don't want us armed. But we that's mandatory. That is essential, because you just never know when the shit is really going to hit the fan. I feel like right now the country is so divided, and you know, it's sinking, man. And I just feel like civil unrest can break out any day, anytime, anywhere. And I ain't talking about that motherfucking Janet Jackson song. That shit can go down anywhere. And this is why everybody that can be legally armed, you need to be armed. But like Brother James said, and like I always tell you, be armed up here with your common sense and know when to get into a fight and when not to don't get into somebody else's fight. Don't lose your life over some bullshit. Because in my opinion, my humble opinion, a funky ass illegal alien that's been out there committing crime, heinous crimes like murder and rape and pedophiling and all that shit. Why the fuck is y'all putting y'all lives on the front line in defense of these motherfuckers being taken? Now I understand everybody that crossed that border is not a savage. They really is trying to have a good life. I understand that and I feel bad, but you still came over to this motherfucker illegally. You got to do it through the proper channels. But my thing is, I don't have a problem getting savages deported back to the country where they came from. But I mean, what's your take on it, Brother James? You're a truck driver. So you drive all over this nation, all over this country. Can you feel it in the air? Is there something something brewing? Can you sense it? Can you feel it? Can you smell it? That something is about to go down and happen, man. Because I'm sensing that something big is about to happen. And this latest killing by ICE, because this guy, I don't give a fuck what nobody say. This guy was straight up executed, man, murdered, after he was disarmed. You know, niggas talk shit about George Floyd. Well, he was a crackhead, a dope fiend. He did all that. And I might agree, but it still didn't justify. Once when the police put them handcuffs on him, he was in their custody. So once when they slapped them damn handcuffs on him, that shit was inexcusable, unjustified. So I'm thinking in the situation of Pratt, y'all, that once when he was disarmed, he was executed, man. And I don't care what nobody say. That shit was unnecessary. It was unnecessary, man. But when you got a bunch of wild motherfuckers, them ICE, they wasn't being professional at all, if you ask me. And I get it. You got motherfuckers antagonizing, blowing whistles in their fucking face, and then you got the governor and you got the mayor gassing people to basically they gaslighting people to obstruct them. You know what I'm saying? So everybody, in my opinion, got to be held accountable. But they need professionals. They should have clearly saw that this guy did not have a gun in his hand. The motherfucker that disarmed, the cop that the ICE agent that took the gun, unholstered him and took his gun, should have let it be known, hey, I got the gun. But instead, see, that's one thing when you having a police encounter, you don't never want a cop to scream out gun. Because as soon as that motherfucker do that, man, if you survive that situation, you lucky than the motherfucker. That's one thing you do not want to hear. If you in a traffic stop and you ain't announced that you got your gun, that's why here in Michigan, that's the first thing that got to come out your mouth. Officer, I have my carry license, my CPL. I am armed. How would you like to proceed? You simply saying that will save your fucking life, man. But I want to hear your thoughts more on that Pretti situation, because I know you wouldn't have brought your gun with you, and I know you wouldn't have been in no bullshit like that in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is your thoughts on it? Like, do you think some shit is about to spill over, and you think it might be, some potential rioting over that shit, like some violence behind that? Because it's gonna anger a lot of people. A lot of people, Antifa is already threatening civil war.
I'm gonna be honest. As far as civil war, honestly, and I could be wrong in my honest opinion, these guys and girls, a lot of them neighbors, they know where each other live if they really want to get down. But I am going to say this. Why I do see, why what I see going on right now don't surprise me. A lot of people got to understand something. After Donald Trump got voted out of office, all they did was take that man up and down court. That man was in and out of court the whole 4 years he wasn't president.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something about Donald Trump. I don't care who don't like what I'm going to say. I'm going to be very direct with this. Donald Trump is a man that don't forget. Donald Trump don't believe in turn the other cheek and live and let live. When he was running the first time, he made it clear, if you punch me in the mouth, I'm going to punch you back 10 times harder. Whether you like the man or not,
Yeah.
whether you like the man or not, them 4 years he wasn't president, all they did was take that man to court. And Donald Trump ain't no more criminal than anybody that's been a president before him. He ain't
Right.
no more of a criminal than any one of them that's been president before him. Hell,
Exactly.
Bush and Cheney went to Iraq and just destroyed a whole country on a lie. Ain't none of them went to jail for war crime. But
Exactly.
nevertheless, when Donald Trump getting reelected didn't surprise me.
Right. It didn't
And
surprise me.
after about the first year of Biden Harris, as I was driving across the country, I seen Trump signs everywhere. So it doesn't surprise me that he won. But Donald Trump didn't forget all that lawfare that they used on him.
Yeah.
Donald Trump is a very, very vengeful person. Donald Trump was that friend that if you get into it with him, you'll never be his friend again. And he can be dead wrong, but you'll never be his friend again. He's that type of dude. He's that type of dude. If you hit him, if it take him 10 years to hit you back, 10 years later, he's going to hit you back because he's not going to let it slide.
He ain't gonna let that shit slide.
When Donald Trump lost, the world thought they never was going to have to deal with him as president again.
Yeah.
All these different world leaders, for whatever you think about the man, I want everybody to take your heart out of it and listen to me with your mind. For whatever you think about that man, all these world leaders making their little orange man jokes and he's a felon and all. Donald Trump, all the humiliation he went through, Donald Trump haven't forgot that. He didn't forget that. And when he grabbed the whole of the reins of power, the people he placed in office was people that wasn't going to tell him to stop, because he made it clear, I'm going after everybody that went after me. That's why we in the geopolitical turmoil we in. That's why we in the turmoil we in the country. That man hasn't forgotten. Whether you like the man or not, let's be honest. You can't prosecute Donald Trump for nothing that you could not have prosecuted any other president for. Period, point blank. And we are in the midst of Donald Trump's revenge tour. This is his revenge tour. And he said it out of his mouth. Let me tell you something. If people would stop listening to snippets of Donald Trump, stop listening to snippets of him on Instagram and all this dumb shit, when Donald Trump do a press conference, whether you believe in him or not, go and listen to him for yourself, and he'll tell you what's on his mind, because he's not a career politician. As Brother Leo Muhammad said, he preferred Donald Trump because he shoots from the lip. He says what's on his mind. He's not a politician. Donald Trump made it clear when he became president, I'm going after all of my enemies. He said that. So it doesn't surprise me. He's vengeful. He said he's vengeful. We're in the midst of his revenge tour. Right now, he's had a counterweight. Let me tell you something that was going on this weekend. While this thing happened with ICE, that Olympian that they've been chasing behind, that drug kingpin, they got him in Mexico. and they got somebody else on that 10 most wanted list. He's got his little counter numbers. Now,
damn, I didn't know about that one.
yeah, this Olympian they've been chasing, and apparently this dude got long money because up in Canada in one of his houses, they found like a rare $13 million Mercedes that he had.
God damn.
And I think they say they found like $40-something million worth of motorcycles, so he got long money.
He got that long money.
And they got another guy that's been in Mexico.
Petty motherfucker. Trump is a petty motherfucker.
And the only problem is he's the president and we in the middle of it.
Right.
But that's why so much is going on, and that's why he don't care. He remember how the country laughed at him, how when Fannie Willis made him do that, she didn't make him do the perk walk, but she posted his mug shot.
Yeah.
He didn't forget that. He's a very, very vengeful person. Donald Trump is one of them people, like they used to say about women. Don't argue with a woman because she gonna get the last word. Donald Trump is the person, he's gonna get the last word. I don't care how long he is, he's gonna get the last word. And we're in the midst of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I see what you're talking about. I definitely
it's look. We don't celebrate death because we don't always agree with people. But I will say this. For people who put themselves in the line for something to happen to them, it's what it is. Let me tell you something. When I was a young dude, I was kind of a wild fella. Let me tell you something we knew all too well. If you get in that car, you walk out that door, you get with this person, you get with that person, there's a possibility you're not going to come back home. And that's a part of what you sign up for. Right. That's a part of what you sign up for. When you're grabbing a gun and you go into a protest, you're going to have that gun on you. One thing to be out there observing. Hell, it's even another thing to be out there screaming that you don't like whatever you're protesting. But you don't get physically involved. Nah, you're asking for something to happen to you.
Open that for me, man. I'm still here, man.
While I'm here, I want to shout everybody out in the chat for tuning in. Some of you guys and girls may or may not agree with what you hear me saying. I have a channel, the Alert Zone TV. Y'all are welcome to go over there and voice your opinion. All I ask is that you be respectful. Let's have a respectful conversation, because my honest opinion, and it's not an opinion, is a fact. For the Second Amendment, this has been long overdue to have these kind of conversations. Because for those of you who don't know, part of why I got into even doing these channels, because I wasn't going to do this. I saw somebody, he's not on YouTube anymore, I won't say his name. He posted something on his community tab about basically don't bring race into guns or something like that. And when I saw that, I said, he must know something, or there must be something he don't want to hear. And he's a black fella. Here's the problem. I've said something and people have agreed with me. People who hard down was against me at first started listening to what I was telling them. There's an aspect
against you though, Brother James. Why would anybody be against you?
You know, some people have their convictions and they're not going to stand on them. Some people are willing to talk to you and find out what is what. I told them like this: the Second Amendment has an asterisk for me. And I'm not going to run around here and lie to people and tell them that the Second Amendment is for everybody. Yes, it's on paper for everybody. In practice, it's not. You have to be careful. And it's something a lot of people are afraid to talk about because they're afraid of losing people or they're afraid of hurting feelings. No, we got to have this talk. When Ronald Reagan and the NRA decided they was going to pull the Mulford Act out to disarm the Black Panthers, anybody that believed in the Second Amendment should have been jumping up and down right then and there. Whether you agree with what the Black Panthers was about or not wasn't the point. Because now, 50 years later, you got a white guy in the state of California that's challenging all these open carry laws that got put in place because of the Black Panthers. He says is intruding on his Second Amendment and is infringing. Well, you guys should have thought about that 50 years ago. What it
Right.
is you thought it was never going. Let me tell you something about unrighteousness, and I don't mean this in a religious sense.
Okay.
Unrighteousness is an organism that never gets full. When it devours an outside, if you don't constantly feed it, it'll devour the host. When they were going after our Second Amendment rights, there's a lot of people who kept quiet, and there's people that cheerleaded for it. Yeah, take them guns from them. Well,
Right.
you already got so much screw on us, you only can use us as fish bait for so long. Now you've created a monster that you got to keep feeding. Now the monster's
Yep.
going to turn around like Frankenstein on the damn scientists that created it. And that's what's going on in Virginia. Like I said, they use major metro cities to get these gun laws passed. They go to Georgia and they tell you Atlanta is this dangerous place. You got to have gun control in the state of Georgia because they too out of control in Atlanta. Oh,
Right.
you got to have gun control in Illinois. They too out of control in Chicago. You got to have gun control. It's not the criminals. The criminals is the ones committing the crimes.
Right.
They got illegal guns, but it
It don't make
doesn't
sense
matter.
at the end of the day.
It doesn't matter. You've
Right.
you found what everybody divide is. And let's be honest, this country has a racial division. It has it. If that's the angle they have to use, once you get the ball rolling, it's hard to stop that ball. They've used Chicago for so long and so much that people then got immune to hearing what about Chicago. It's
Right.
immune now. It don't hit like it did 5 years ago because it got used so much. Now it's starting to cannibalize. Do you know how many people in the state of Virginia was hollering about, yeah, what about Chicago? In the comment section. Oh, that was 13% avoidable. What about Chicago? What about
Right.
Chicago?
Right.
These people sitting here watching you saying that, and they saying, okay, well, we know what about Chicago means. Bingo. And we start bringing, okay, what state is this? New York. Okay, New York gun laws is the way it is because of New York City. Because upstate New York is like a totally different place. For those
Yeah,
of
New
you who've
York
never
is
been,
crazy,
New
man.
York
They gun
City and
law.
upstate New York is like fucking night and day.
Right.
And in Pennsylvania, you drag Philly out there. Oh yeah, yeah, they acting a fool in Philly. You gotta disarm him in Philly. They acting a fool. Yeah. Philly's so dangerous. We gotta disarm him in Philly.
Right.
Hey man, I said this, and I'll continue to say this. All these guys that have these marches where they walk around with Nazi flags and all that crap, I don't care about them having a gun. If they're able to pass a background check, let them have their guns. You can call me all the niggas you want. You run up on me, I'm gonna put one in you. And every time you jump, I'm gonna shoot
That's
you
what I'm
again.
talking about.
Every
That's
time
what
you
I'm talking
jump, I'm
about.
gonna shoot you again. And I'm gonna say because he
Yeah.
kept moving.
That's
The
what I'm talking
McCloskeys,
about.
the
Yeah.
McCloskeys, during the George Floyd uprisings, I wasn't mad at them people coming out there with their guns to show force, the McCloskeys, because they was in their house.
Yeah.
These people broke the gate to come in a gated community. They had
Right.
every right to defend themselves. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? And
I'm
that's
not
not
mad
a
at them
popular
either.
thing what I just
I
said.
would have done the
That's not
same. I would have
popular.
done it the same thing. You
That's not
violate.
popular what I just
Yeah.
said. That's not popular what I just said. And I don't think they deserve to go to jail for it. That's not
They
popular what I
didn't.
said. But
They
it's the
did not.
Second Amendment. They have a right. You have a right to defend yourself. I would never want to take somebody's right to defend themselves because I don't want nobody to take mine. And
Exactly.
now that this has happened, a lot of people that was very anti-Second Amendment starting to rethink that now. Now they're really starting to rethink that.
Yeah.
Like I said, some of these quote unquote liberal channels have already been out there dragging it about. Well, what about people that practice the Second Amendment? How they supposed to feel? It is they started pulling all the rights out. It's our right to be legally armed at a protest and all that. But that's not what you was pushing 2 or 3 years ago. Two,
Right.
3 years ago, you were saying because you didn't agree with why somebody had a gun. Well, I don't care what the law said, they shouldn't have one. So, yeah, man, if you able to be legally armed in this country, I want you to practice your Second Amendment right. I constantly preach this. I want you to be out there legally armed. The
Right.
more armed people we
Yes.
have, the less I got to worry about somebody trying to do me something.
Yeah.
The less
You
my
right.
damn homeowners insurance going to be, because the less crime, homeowners insurance go down, car insurance go down, life insurance go down. So yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. You're right. Absolutely, man. We gotta have. It's essential that we have our firearms. I don't give a fuck about no skinhead or neo-Nazi or the Klan or whatever. That's their right to hate. They want to be a fucking idiot, a fucking asshole, and hate. That's on them. But the minute that you show your racist ass face around my hood and I see you walking in a fucking grocery store or coming into a church, I don't go to church no more, but I'm just trying to make an example. I'm going to let you have it. I'm not going to be one of them motherfuckers on my knees begging and pleading to spare my life. Nah, I'm going to take your life. You come for me out of hate, I'm going to hate you just as equally. This ain't no motherfucking turn the other cheek. You trying to take my life and you hate me because of my skin tone. It don't get no stupider and dumber and evil than that. So I'm going to send you on your way to Funky Town if you try me. Hate all you want to. That's your right to do that. But when you cross that line and you come for me or anybody of my people, and when I say my people, I'm talking about everybody, black, white, and everything in between. As long as you righteous, you all right by me. You know what I'm saying? But the world the world that we're living in, it's a wicked place, man. It's a cold world. And what I don't like a lot of things that I see, but it is what it is. It's the reality that we exist in, And you got people picking a side. You got people that clearly see that what the administration said was clearly a lie. This guy wasn't fighting or being aggressive to those ICE agents. He was just trying to document it. But where he fucked up, he didn't use his common sense, And you don't bring a gun to a environment that can potentially be violent, man. Because you don't know what type of cop you're gonna get. This is why I be telling y'all, whenever, and Brother James, you said the same thing too. Whenever you have an encounter with the police, with law enforcement, you better make that encounter as quick and as short as you possibly can, because the longer that motherfucking situation drag out, the more chance that something can go left, and you're not gonna win if you're trying to be one of them hothead motherfuckers and be like, "This is my right." I ain't comply or die. That's the way you gotta look at it. Comply and live another motherfucking day to fight it in courts, my nigga. Don't be no fool out there giving them a reason to gun you down, because a lot of them are trigger happy. A lot of them, their life is fucked up. They depressed, and they need to let off some goddamn steam. Don't be the person that they unleash they frustrations out on. They're human beings just like me and you. And this is no knock on all police officers, because we got many of them, including my nephew, that's members of the Gun Freak Nation. You know what I'm saying? But just my point, what I'm trying to make is, when you get stopped by the police or encounter the police, you don't know what type of cop that you're gonna get, man. It's like a box of chocolates. You just don't know which one you gonna get. Go ahead, bro.
Some years back, down in Des Moines, they had like a little 2A rally, 2A get together. And I showed up down there. Um, I was expecting what happened. You know, them folks walked up on me, you know, credentialized me, you know, you got your card and all that. Yeah, yeah, here you go. You know, I ain't give them no shit. And I understood it's very, especially in a place like this, it's very, very abnormal to see a black person with a firearm. Just like when I go hunting and stuff, I had some people talk to me out there because they wasn't sure.
I
And
remember. I think I saw that shit on your. It was a video. You was out there, and it was some motherfuckers in a pickup truck just eyeing you up and down, just watching you, trying to figure out what the hell you.
Not that time I got accosted. This was a time before I get gun to that I just went down and went to the rally just in support of the Second Amendment. And I was explaining to some of the people because they assumed that I was a Democrat. They assumed a lot of things. And they were talking to me. I said, look, they asked me, what brought you out here? I said, because I believe in the Second Amendment. And we just started having a conversation. And I told him, I said, look, when it comes to the Second Amendment, we don't always have to agree on everything politically. We don't even have to agree on everything racially. Hell, we don't even have to like the same damn football team.
Right.
I said, well, when it comes to the Second Amendment, I believe in people being able to protect themselves. And that's what I'm out here for. That's my constitutional right. I said I'm practicing. I didn't come out here looking for trouble, but I came out here just to let people know I support the Second Amendment, and that's what it was. And, some of them say, they thought otherwise. I said, man, look, I ain't out here to start trouble. I got it on me. I got one on me, and I got one on my shoulder. Let's march.
Hell yeah.
And
that's the way to be.
When I go to the gun ranges up here, I understand sometimes people who never seen me at the range be kind of like, I'll be talking to them and they be almost like they seeing a unicorn, like they be in awe. And I understand it. I understand it. Believe me, I understand it because I understand where I'm at. I understand where I came from and where I'm at.
Yeah.
But as I always
you come from the mean streets, brother. You come from New Orleans, right? Am I correct? Correct me.
Yeah.
If I'm wrong, correct me. So you know how it is. I remember you told me the story of the cops that pulled you over and took your gun and unloaded the motherfucker before he gave it back to you.
That was a normal thing for me. That was a normal thing for me. But you know what? I told people at the gun ranges, and I encourage people, the gun ranges is one of the most friendliest places you're going to go. I've never been to a gun range where I've seen people and asked them to shoot a gun that has something nasty to say to me. I've just never seen an argument in a gun range. That's a good place to get good knowledge. If you see somebody shooting something at a range, you go up to them and ask them, hey ma'am, I like that gun. Oh, it's so-and-so. You want to shoot it? Everybody do that. They don't care what color you are. This motherfucker, hey, you remember, I forget my man's name right off the top of my head, that we did the live stream with, the white dude who was saying he used to be a skinhead or what have you. Me, you, and him, remember?
Yeah. That's my brother, AR American, the former skinhead.
I forget his name. But
AR American.
Even people like him in the gun range, they'll talk to you and they'll damn shoot with you. I think they'd be more fascinated that you be in there than anything. So look, I want everybody to understand this that's in here live or that's going to see this on the replay. Only thing we ask is that y'all get legally armed. Get armed up here first before you get armed here.
Right.
And practice your Second Amendment, man, because look, we can put whatever differences aside that we have. The Second Amendment got to be colorblind because they're attacking it. Little bit by little bit. They've already got what they're going to use as the wedge issue, little bit by little bit. But I wanted to address you about something that you said the other day on your channel. I'm so happy you're getting that gun freak juice back in your veins. Cause I know you have said, man, the old T coming back as far as I gotta buy me some more stuff. And not because this is a competition. I explain to people that do these I explain to people that do these videos and that do any kind of content creation off camera. Sometimes it can be exhausting, man, because we all have regular lives outside
Yeah.
of this. Some
Right.
people have the luxury of their whole life is their channel. They wake up
Yeah.
online, they go to sleep online. Some
Right.
of us have lives outside of this. Sometimes we want to do other things. And sometimes, you know what? Looking at some of these stories, man, it can be mentally draining to look at a
Yeah.
story like I did this morning and see an elderly woman. They break in her house and she get in a gunfight. She died. She shot
I
both of the
saw that.
suspects
You know
and
what?
they
You
killed
know
her.
what?
But that can be draining, man.
Me and First Lady, we possibly gonna cover that tonight on Savage TV. Yeah, Brother James is right. You had some savages, one male and one female. Didn't that happen down there in Texas or something like that? But they
Houston,
broke
in
in her.
Houston.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they broke in her house, and I'm so glad that this elderly woman, she was in her 70s, y'all,
and
70
she went
plus
down
years,
swinging.
and she had a gun, and I salute her for that. Even though she lost her life in that gunfight, but she did, shoot they stinking asses too. And that's the reason why they both are in the hospital, but they're gonna go to prison because
Yeah,
they took her life, man. But go
and,
ahead and
and,
elaborate it
and
on
yeah,
Brother John.
man.
I'm glad you brought that story up,
This,
man. This
hey,
is a true story.
this. Let me tell you something. I've made and dedicated my YouTube career to compartmentalizing the Second Amendment. I've been screaming at women for I don't know how long to get legally armed. I've begged them. If you don't want to hear it from the fellas, there's a lot of women on YouTube doing gun tube.
Yeah,
Maybe you got to hear it from a woman. I've made videos for elderly. Hell, I've made videos specifically for immigrants and their children to get legally armed if they can legally be armed. I'm not against nobody that can lawfully being armed, man. I
right.
don't want to turn on that. People may feel like, well, you don't know this woman. Man, that's mentally draining to see something like that. That a woman was in her house minding her business and
Yeah,
that she lost her life. You know what? That ding dong ditch, that man that's in jail down there in Houston for that little 11-year-old kicking his door or whatever, or doing whatever he did, and he killed that kid.
that's
Man, that
fucked
guy
up.
was just minding his business. And a lot of people were saying, well, he shouldn't have came out the house or what, but he was minding his business. See, this is the kind of stuff that I talk about. People
Yeah.
need to mind their damn business, you know what I mean? Ding dong ditch. People breaking it. Let me tell you something. There was a nasty, nasty, nasty savage, as you say, that broke up in that house and raped that damn 95-year-old woman.
Oh yeah,
That
yeah, yeah.
bastard,
You saw the
that
video? Yeah,
yeah, that bastard. And he was targeting women. He was
yeah.
very
Elderly
specific
too.
about he was targeting single women. This is
Yeah,
why I tell ladies, I don't care if you don't have a man at home, or if you do, that's your business. You better have that iron with you. You better have that fucking iron with you. Because you may think if you go to work and mind your business, you ain't bothering nobody, nobody should mess with you. That ain't the way the world works.
it's not
Criminals are not brave. They're looking for soft targets. Period.
correct.
Point blank. You don't know who's watching you. If they come in that window, be like that elderly lady. As a matter of fact, you know what? I'm gonna keep up with that story. I'm gonna see if I can get in touch with her family. You know, maybe
Yeah,
we can do a little dedication to that woman. Not
right.
because I'm celebrating her life. That woman was the epitome of what we preach in gun to. If you
Yes,
got to give your life up, you go down swinging. You go down swinging, man.
you go down
And
swinging.
it,
For
it,
you
it, it
women
can
out
be,
there, You listen to every word that Brother James is saying. Y'all, the days of y'all being excluded from all this, well, y'all ain't never been excluded from a rapist, but I'm just talking about like crime in general, because back in the 80s and 70s, it was a code that you didn't,
You
you
don't
didn't
mess with
break.
women and children.
Women and children was off limits, but that shit don't went out the window. They don't give a fuck nowadays. So listen to this brother right here. Me and him been preaching that y'all need to get armed. Get armed to protect yourself. Defend your life. Don't get armed to kill your boyfriend because you don't found out that the nigga cheating on you. Don't use it for that.
Don't do that.
Don't do it for that. Please don't do it for that. Do it if you dump that nigga, after you dump that nigga because you don't found out that nigga don't cheated on you, and then that nigga don't want to leave you alone, and he's stalking you, and he try to break in your crib or try to kidnap you on some crazy type shit. That's what you need that gun for, or any other funky ass savage that want to do you harm. You do it for that. Never use your gun out of anger. Do it out of self-defense, and keep your common fucking sense and use it for self-defense, if that makes sense. Use your common sense and use your weapon for self-defense, your gun for self-defense, because the world is crazy right now, and you don't want to be another statistic. You don't want to be on the future cover of a obituary. Life is so short. At the blink of an eye, your life could be gone. Snap of a finger, your life can be gone, man.
If Dr. T is in here, I want to shout her out. Dr. T, if you in here. Ladies, listen to me and listen to me again. If we're not the channel for you, I understand that. Although we would love your support. Some of y'all might have to hear it from a woman. Get that firearm and carry it on your person. Do not just carry it in your purse, but do not take your safety for granted, man.
Right.
Moving. Let me lighten up the mood just a little bit. Have you seen some of these videos about some of this stuff that's been come out at SHOT Show? Some of these new guns out here? Man, from the people that's in the SHOT Show, man, my goodness, they're going to keep me in the poorhouse.
You know what? Yeah, they're going to put me in the poorhouse. The thing of it is, man, if you notice that, I got a super safety on my Marauder, but they just came out with an FRT trigger for the PS90, and I sold my damn PS90. I got to get me another one, but I did not appreciate that long ass barrel. That's what made it look ugly. So if I get me another one, I definitely got an SBR. But what stood out for me at that SHOT Show, and one day, man, see, your brother T don't like to. I ain't never flew and don't plan on flying.
I'll tell you what.
I'm too afraid of heights. But if I lived in Vegas, I'll be there every goddamn year. Now, what stood out to me, I want that new the AXR line that PSA got. Man, yeah. I thought I had some shit with that 300 blackout that's up there on that wall right there. Nah, man. This motherfucker that they got out now is called the XAR or either the AXR, and it's like a Jackal on steroids or something, man. The one I got is 8.5. This one is 6.5 inch, and man, it looks so sweet. Another one that I like that they got, they got that new AR with the shotgun mounted to it. That bitch looks so sweet, man. That motherfucker, it looked like some shit that was in the Predator. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's the shit like that is making the gun freak juice in my blood.
I'll tell you what,
and I'm on, yeah.
I tell you what, I don't know I'm gonna get in touch with some people. I want to be at SHOT Show next year. I want to start getting into that.
But how we gonna get there though, James? How we gonna get there next year?
If you want to drive, I'll drive. We can drive over there.
So
I'll take us about a day or two.
me and you can get in your 18 wheeler in your motherfucking truck, and we can drive all the way to the goddamn SHOT Show.
Oh, we can read
some hell of ass content. Listen, the road trip alone would be content that would probably that shit would go viral. Just
we can rent a car
traveling together. You know
if
what
you
I'm
want
saying?
to rent a car, we could. That's fine too. I don't have an issue with that. If you want to rent a car. Shit,
that would be fun, man. It sounds like a plan to me. Cause I want to go there too, but I damn sure ain't.
If you don't want to fly
airplane, though, man, I'm sorry, brother Jay.
You know what?
Can't do it. I can't get on the airplane, man.
I'm gonna tell you this: flying ain't nearly as bad. I'll tell you this: if you ever get on the airplane, you won't never want to drive again. Flying ain't nearly as bad.
You just saying that, James, because you ain't afraid of heights like me, man. I really be having like a anxiety attack. I couldn't even go to the fucking concert. You know, I didn't know when my girl, when First Lady won those tickets to go see. I didn't even want to see the bitches, the Glorilla and Sexy, all that bullshit. But we just was bored and wanted to get the fuck out of the house. But we did not know that them shits was nosebleed tickets, man. So when I went and saw how steep and how high that was, I said, fuck this. I went back down to the lower level and I stood on my fucking feet for 3 hours for that damn concert, man, by myself. Because I refused to go up there and sit the same thing when we went to see R. Kelly back in 2018 when the nigga was at the Little Caesars Arena. We bought tickets at the last minute, nosebleed seats, man. And that shit, I said, look, I can't do this. I'm looking down at the stage. Them motherfuckers looking like ants. That's how high up we was. I said, I can't do it. I said, I'm willing to pay the extra money to try to find some seats to the lower section. So I cannot imagine myself getting on a motherfucking plane, being 47,000 feet up in the sky, ain't nothing holding that bitch up. And you know the second that it's knowing my motherfucking luck, as soon as I get on that bitch, that's when it's gonna have problems and we all gonna go down. And you know that ain't nothing holding that bitch up. And if that bitch crashed, that's it. That's it. Now, I know they always say this, more motherfuckers die in car accidents than they do in airplanes. I don't give a fuck.
I'll tell you this.
It's the height of it, man. Let me ask you this. Have you ever flew before? Have you ever flown before?
Me?
You?
Hell yeah.
What the fuck? When? And how many times? And it didn't scare the shit out of you?
Man, hey, let me tell you something. If I got a choice, depending on where I'm going, I'll jump on the plane in a minute. It cuts travel time down. I'm gonna tell you, man. Let me see.
Was the trip? I need to know this. How long was the trip? Though, when First Lady, she just like me. She don't have a fear of heights. She don't get the anxiety like I get because she was able to sit, but she ain't getting on no goddamn airplane. You know, because she could be down there in Miami, Florida right now, tickets paid and everything, but she not getting. You know, when she found out that it required that she had to get on an airplane, no, and I ain't mad at her. But I want to know, where did you go? It ain't none of my business, but how was it, man? Because I know people that have flown before. They say it's just like sitting on a motherfucking train or a bus, and it was like, just don't look out the window. No, just mentally knowing I'm that fucking high up in the sky.
You ain't gonna see nothing. You ain't gonna see nothing but clouds. You don't see nothing when you up in the sky. I'll tell you this. It just depends on.
Freak me out.
It depends on.
If I'm that motherfucking high. And I can see up over the motherfucking clouds. The clouds is under me. Shit, I'm subject to pass out. They might have to do a motherfucking emergency landing for my ass.
Let me tell you this. Depending on where you're gonna fly to, like when we flew to Mexico City. We drove from Marshalltown, where I live, to O'Hare Airport in Chicago. We parked at the airport.
Okay.
And we was on a big flight, a big plane. I think it took us about 5 hours, but we had TVs and stuff. So they give you TVs. There's already TVs mounted in the headrest, and they give you earphones. And you can watch all the movies that's available. Man, I just sat on there and watched TV. I watched the Sopranos shit for the first time.
Though? Was it turbulence? Was it?
No.
Because I also know somebody that flew. They say they'll never fly again because they damn near, had a motherfucking heart attack and passed out on that bitch because they say
they watch too much TV, man.
They think it's like an earthquake in that bitch.
I'm gonna tell you, if you got a little turbulence, they'll tell you, everybody put your seatbelt back on. We got a little turbulence, but usually you don't have that. Once the airplane, you know what scares people? Going up. When the airplane first take off, it's almost like being in the elevator.
What the fuck?
Once the plane get to a certain altitude, they'll get the seatbelts off sign and tell you can move about the cab if you need to go to the bathroom or whatever, if you need to get something out of your overhead. But I'll tell you, man, ain't nothing like flying. Now, here's the thing about this Vegas trip you got to understand.
Okay.
The West Coast is in the mountains. So if heights scare you, Vegas is in the mountains. Well, it's in the valley, but going to Vegas, you got to go across mountains to get there.
You mean a desert? That motherfucker is a desert.
No, you got to go across mountains to get there. Let's say we drive. Let's say we drive from Detroit. I come out there to Detroit. We leave together. Drive.
Pick me up. You coming to pick me up, and then we gonna drive and we gonna document the road trip. You gonna upload it on your channel. I'm gonna upload it on my channel. We gonna stop and probably see some strippers and shit at the. You still married?
I don't mess with strippers, man. I got better things. I got daughters if I want to throw money away.
No, but we gonna fuck around with some. We ain't gonna fuck them or nothing like that. We gonna look at them.
Okay.
No, I'm just fucking with you. But what I'm saying was, you telling me that in order to get to Vegas, I'm not talking about Nevada. I'm talking about Vegas.
Yes.
Vegas. You gotta go through some fucking mountains to get to Vegas.
Yes, sir. You gotta go through from where you live. Let's say we GPS it. We're going to take 75, or it's going to take us back across, was that 96, 94? Back towards Chicago. It'll probably cut us through. We're going to wind up either in New Mexico, in Arizona, or if it take us 70 across through Colorado, we got to go up in the Rocky Mountains to 15, 70 to 15. Then you get 15, and 15 takes you down. So
let me ask you this, Brother John. You a truck driver, so have you ever had to deliver a load to Vegas? Because I met a truck driver like 20 years ago when I was selling like software, not no drugs, but software and shit I was selling. And he had a little girl group he put together. They were grown women. He wanted to be like Apollonia 6, Vanity 6, some shit like that. So I was making beats, and I had the software too, and I was selling it on the low. He was a truck driver. He said one of his most favorite destinations that he has ever visited
was Las
Vegas. He says something about when you driving there at the dawn, when the dawn of the morning comes. He was like, it's like a glitter, like the buildings and shit look like Christmas trees or something. It's just illuminated. It's just so beautiful how the reflections from the sun illuminate off that shit, man. He was like, that's his favorite. And then the nigga was he loved women, so I guess he visited the brothels. Yeah, them brothels.
That's what he went there for. Telling me, Vegas got some beautiful women. They got some
about some brothels. He told me about some brothels out there. Yeah.
Well, driving a truck is how I got to go to Vegas. I was
Oh,
running a team at the time, and my teammate knew somebody that lived in Vegas.
right.
And we went and stayed at his house for the weekend, and I got to see it, go around Caesar's Palace and all that shit. Tropicana Boulevard, Frank Sinatra, the Strip. I got to see all that. Um,
Damn.
it's but as far as if we went to Vegas, for a shot show, I
Yeah.
want to go just because I want to experience shot show. You know what I mean? Since we
Me
kind of like in
too.
the media.
Right.
Uh,
Me too.
but yeah, man. I tell you this.
How would y'all like that, Gun Freak Nation? T Electric meets up. T Electric and James Walker, the Alert Zone, have a road trip to the SHOT Show to Las Vegas. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna find out how do you get damn invited, or what do you do to get the shot show? I'm going to shot show next year.
I want to go with you
Yeah,
next
man.
year.
I want to
If
experience. You know what?
God willing, if the world ain't gonna end it because Trump done kicked off
It
World
ain't
War
going.
III with Putin and
It
all
ain't
that,
going.
and if
It ain't
God
going.
willing, I still be here.
You'll still be here. It ain't going to end. We still gonna be here on Gun Freak Nation and on the Alert Zone TV, shooting guns and telling people to get on. Ain't
Exactly.
gonna going nowhere no time soon.
Exactly.
But
But
we can go out there. Like I said, man.
that'll be January
When I get
2027. But let me ask you
when
this though. What caught your attention? You asked me. I'm asking you now. At the
you know what
SHOT
I
Show
saw.
2020, which gun and what company, which one caught your attention?
The two guns I seen from the people who've shown what they saw at shot show. The two guns I'm excited about is SAR. SAR had like a 1911. They said is what the K-12 was supposed to be. A
Okay.
regular gun guy showed it.
Okay.
And
Shout out to regular gun guy.
PSA that 2011 is a Saber. That 2011 that they made, my goodness, I got to have one of those.
Wow.
And I saw Apollo. Also. Honest Outlaw showed an Apollo
Okay.
2011.
Okay.
This year, I'm going to get me a 2011. I got to have me a 2011. Let me say
Wow.
this to you. I've shot a 2011. I understand why they cost what they cost.
For real?
Man, that gun is like shooting butter, man. It is like shooting butter, man. I mean, goodness gracious.
Wait a minute, hold on. But they said the staccato is the one to be all T all B all whatever the fuck.
Nah.
And that's why the motherfucking $3,000, $4,000. They said you ain't shot shit until you shoot a motherfucking staccato. I don't get the big deal about them. They ugly to me. And ain't no fucking gun worth no $3,000, $4,000. I wouldn't even buy that shit even if I was a millionaire.
Let me tell you something. I shot some guns that were $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000. This was it Xfinity, them race guns. I shot some race guns out there at regular meetup. Black Rambo brought his Atlas.
I'm gonna have to go that one goddamn day. Somebody they mad at me now, but they wanted me to go. But they mad. Let me shut the fuck up because go ahead.
Well, the door's always open for you. I'm gonna be in Jacksonville. I'm gonna be in Jacksonville in June.
Okay.
So I shot Black Rambo had his, that what is it, Atlas or whatever that is he used to carry. It got like $7,000.
Dang.
And it was his EDC, and he would let everybody shoot it, man. Let me tell you something. A regular meetup 5, I shot guns that all I've ever saw was on YouTube. Man, them race guns. Once I picked the 2011 up, about my arm.
Yeah.
When I left the damn shooting range time, man, I had to go get on the heating pad, man. That Sunday when I left and went back, man, my arm was swole for about 2 or 3 weeks, man.
Damn.
I did that much shooting. I only wanted to shoot one 2011. I shot the Prodigy.
Brother James.
I shot the Prodigy.
You telling me I had 2 Canics, a Jonix, a Canix, I never got a chance to shoot them because one got stolen
Like
and then one got sold. But you telling me that this 2011 gun shoot better than your K?
oh,
Is that what you
and
trying to
let me tell
tell
you
me?
something. I'm gonna tell you something about these 2011s. This is my personal opinion. Yeah, the slide on them. You can have a not. You can have arthritis and shoot a 2011 and not have your hand be thumping. I mean, they are man. They shoot like butter, man. I see why some of these guns so expensive. Like I said, I shot the Springfield Prodigy. I shot a Bull Armory out there. I shot one of the Fusion firearms. I shot the Chirac, the one they call the Chirac. Like I said, I
Right.
shot them Xfinities. The
Damn.
only gun out there that I did not shoot was a Staccato.
Wow.
Because the
Are you
guy
going to
who
the
owns
meetup
Staccato,
again this year? You
hell
going to the
yeah, I'm
meetup?
going to the meetup.
Damn, I might have to go, man, because
Let me tell you something.
but I ain't getting on no damn airplane. I don't know. I might.
Man, shit, drive to Jacksonville then shit. Drive 70 from your house, drive straight down 75, go on down to go down to damn Lake City, Florida, and catch Interstate 10, and you be right there in Jacksonville. 75
Damn.
to 10.
Oh, it's gonna be in Florida.
Jacksonville, Florida. I'll be
Okay.
there. I'm
Okay.
gonna get my ticket next month. We'll go ahead and get my ticket and book my room, man. I'm gonna be there. Let me
Right.
tell you something. What I miss, what I'm looking forward to at the meetup is the fellowship. Just
Okay.
meeting other gun tubers and just meeting people that don't have channels but that come there to enjoy the event, man. It's an experience. You're
Right.
gonna be busy the whole time you're there. Jason, I'm gonna tell you something. If Jason Ewing is in here, shout out to you, Jason and his wife, man. Them two
Oh
cool
man, you
ass
know
guys.
what? You know what?
We
The
had fun
brother
out there.
reached out, right? Rambo, Jason Ewing reached out to me. It was like, T, vote for me. I'm the newbie of the year, some
Yeah,
award.
the
I said,
regular
bro, you've
meetup,
been rocking,
they got the
you've been
awards.
rocking with the Gun Freak Nation before it was a fucking Gun Freak Nation. Jason Ewing. I know you call yourself White Rambo now, but nigga, you're Jason Ewing to me. Cause you've been rocking with me before this even was you and James been rocking with me. That's why I told that brother, I said, say less. I went over there, went to the website, I found the nigga. I didn't know you gotta vote for
Yeah, it's a whole
every
bunch
other
of categories.
goddamn category in order for your vote to go through. You gotta vote for people you don't even know just to finish the process. But I said for you, brother, it's definitely worth it. You know what I'm saying? Because he been
Man,
working with the gun connection. You feel me?
we
You
had
know.
fun. We had a good time. Nobody thought they was bigger than nobody else. Nobody thought they was better than nobody else. We had a ball. Black Rambo, he's like you in person. Just like he hyped up on the damn phone or on the video. You
Yeah.
meet him on video, he's just as energized. He's just as like you. People think that this is you in front of a microphone. And he turned that fucking camera off. Man, I say, man, this is like meeting the person. You know what I mean? Because some people,
All I can
when
be is
they're
me.
off camera, it's different.
That's what I'm
And,
saying.
and,
All
and I
I
can
can
kind
be.
of understand it a little bit. I can understand it a little bit because sometimes you still want to live a normal life. But what comes with this is you never know when somebody watching you. You're gonna be out in public and somebody gonna stop you, and you can't have a nasty attitude towards them.
Right.
I'm a
Right.
D-list celebrity. You know how many times I've been at the gym and people have came up to me and said, I know you. You the dude from YouTube. Hey
Yeah.
man, let me ask you a question. I just made 18. What brand AR-15 you think I should get?
Uh,
And I said, oh, I didn't know you know about me. Yeah, you the dude from YouTube. You know what I mean? You just don't know who
right.
watching you.
Right.
We got,
Right.
we got
Right.
different brands watching us, gun brands, clothing brands, all kind of
Yeah.
people watching this stuff. You don't know who gonna
Yeah.
reach out to you. At the end of
Right.
the day, you don't know who you impacted. All of us that do
Exactly.
dating has inspired somebody to get legally armed. You never know,
Right.
man. You might meet the person who tell you, hey, I was against guns until I saw your channel. You
You know
said
what?
something. that hit
Brother
home
James,
and made me go get
I get
home.
those emails, man. And when I get an email like that, thank you for motivating me to go out and get armed so I can protect my wife and my two daughters. I got emails like that from a lot of people that, there's like, watching your content, it convinced me to get armed. And when I get that type of message, emails, man, that's priceless. Money can't even make you feel that good, but it's priceless to know that we are trying
Making a
to make a
difference.
difference and save people's
We making a
lives.
difference.
Right.
We
So
making
when
a
I
difference.
meet this young, this was at Spencer's
Okay.
gun shop, and the young man wanted a picture with me. He wouldn't let me leave until I gave him that picture. I said, I ain't got no problem, taking a picture with you, bro. And that's not the first time that happened, so you just never know who watching. Like I had Von Scales on here. To me, he a celebrity. He married to Trina Braxton, and I had him on here. I didn't know he had been watching the channel. He reached out to me. And he was like, "What are your thoughts on this?" And we talked about the podcast, and he ended up coming on my podcast. So you just never know who watching, man. But we I'm not trying to hold you. I know it's been over an hour, Jack, but I'm not. What I'm trying to say is, we can't force nothing, force you to do nothing. But I'm telling you, it's a lot of people that's no longer here that would still be here if they were armed, and most importantly, like Brother James said, armed up in here. You got to be savage ready. Not having a gun is not gonna, it's what to do and when to use it and when not to use it, and whatever environment you in, you got to constantly be scanning for potential threats. With that being savage ready, I'm telling you, it can save your life potentially. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I salute you, Brother James. SHOT Show, let's work on it. Let's make that a
Yeah.
reality. Let's make a
I tell you,
road trip and we document this shit for
I tell you what,
YouTube.
uh when the winter kind of fades away and the spring start coming in, I'm gonna take me a weekend. I'm gonna come over there so we can do some range videos together, and
Yes, sir.
we'll get together and start planning this out offline and talk about all the logistics. And I'm gonna see this week who can I talk to and figure out how we can get into SHOT Show, and we can go ahead and do that, man. Like I said, for my
Right.
channel, I had been saying I was planning on doing more collaborations. Look, I'm still working on StreamYard and all this shit. Everybody
Yeah.
forgive me. Yep, I still got that picture. I still got that picture. My goofy ass at the damn White House.
Man,
My goofy ass at the damn White House. Man, we had fun
I
that
had
night. I owe
fun.
you dinner.
I
I know I
had
owe you dinner.
fun. I had fun that day, brother.
I know I
I
owe you
had
dinner.
fun that day.
Yeah, man. I know I owe you dinner. Look at my little bitty ass. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna say this. I'm
No,
gonna
man.
say this.
I'm just
Hey,
saying. I'm just
I'm gonna
saying,
say
man.
this
So
before we when
huh?
I went to a regular meetup and I pulled up, boy, everybody was surprised at how short I was.
Man,
Boy,
you
oh
ain't
man,
that.
they
You
teased me
come on,
about that.
man. You
Huh?
not that short. You ain't that
It was
short. I'm
like
just a little on the tall side.
Jimmy
You're not
Walker.
that short.
Oh my goodness! Look at Jimmy Walker. Man, you little in person. I was like, yeah, I know. I've told people that. These cameras tend to make you seem bigger than you are. I'm 5'4". I weigh 150 pounds. I tell you what, I got that big old 4'5" on me sometimes.
Right.
Hey,
Shit. That's why they call that motherfucker the almighty equalizer. You can be 80 pounds and 4'9", but you can knock a motherfucking elephant out if you got the right goddamn gun. So
That's
It's
somebody
important
else.
for you.
Look, well-dressed tactical. He got a Smith & Wesson 500.
Shout out
He
Well Dressed
teases
Tactical, my
me.
brother.
He teases me about shooting that gun so much. Oh man, when you come down here, man, come on, you got to shoot my 500. You got to shoot my 500. They had a 500 at a regular meetup 5, and they asked
Mm.
me, Jimmy Walker, you want to shoot this? I said, y'all must be out of y'all mind. Man, I was watching him. I got one good arm, and it ain't even my dominant arm. I'm not shooting that. Man, I was watching him shoot that thing and what? Nah. Hey, look, I got my 454, and I always say this. Boy, if I ever carry that 454 and I got to shoot somebody,
Yeah.
that bastard going to the cemetery and I'm going to the emergency room because I know my arm's going to be
Wow.
But you
Wow.
know, man, this has been good. I appreciate you for having me on. You know, I love you. We always, for those of you who don't know, we let each other know that we love each other because life is short, man. Life is short. You know, we can be talking one day. There's a lot of people, like you said, that ain't here no more.
Yeah.
I'm already 45, 46 years old. I'm getting into the age bracket where people that used to be here gonna start leaving.
Right.
People younger than me leaving. There's people that's been in this YouTube space that ain't alive no more. You know what I'm saying? So life is short. I'm gonna leave everybody with this. The great Malcolm X once said, your life is the most precious thing you have. Don't give it all up by yourself. If you got to give it up, be like that elderly woman.
Yeah.
Be an even Steven.
Yeah.
That's how you equalize the situation. If you got to give your life up, go down fighting. I appreciate you having me on here. Shout out to everybody because this is a worldwide movement. Make sure y'all subscribe to the Alert Zone TV.
Yes,
Make sure you go to your favorite gun tubers, whether it's me or not, and subscribe to them and support them. Because this message is something you're not going to see on the mainstream media. They're not going to have these discussions like that. So with that being said, brother, I'm going to get with you later this week. I'm going to make some phone calls, and we're going to start working on this shot show shit.
Okay, for sure. Love you,
All
brother.
right, bro.
Appreciate
I'm going to
you.
holler at you later.
All right, now. Yeah. To the next one. Yo, Gun Freak Nation, man. I really, really love that brother right there. You know, when I tell you that he's a righteous spirit, man, the brother's righteous. And he's been rocking with me day one, pretty much. And I love him. You know what I'm saying? So that's my bro. I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in tonight, man. You know, once again on the topic, rest in peace to Alex Pretti. Rest in peace to him. He didn't deserve to go out like that. I don't give a fuck what his political views or what he believed in. That's irrelevant to me. He's a human being. And no human being should be executed like that. At least not here on the streets of America. But what happened to him was fucked up. And this is why I can't express enough. When you have your firearm, please be responsible with it and be mentally responsible with it. Don't make a split second bad decision that can end your life and you can be forever gone. You know, like my brother James said, this shit is short. You feel me? This experience is a short-lived experience. And that's if you get to make it to old age and die of natural causes. Life is still short. But it's even fucked up when you got evil that don't have a problem trying to take your life. You know what I'm saying? So always be savage ready, no matter what, at all times. Protect you and your family, you and your loved ones at all times, no matter what the cost may be. Even if it require you giving up your life. Because I know I'll give my life for mine. But y'all stay armed and do me a favor. Show Brother James Walker some love. Subscribe to his channel. You know, watch his content, man. Show that's my brother. I love y'all, each and every one of y'all. I'm about to get off this motherfucker and then probably jump back on and play me some Prince or something. So if for all my Gum Freak Nation Prince loving motherfuckers out there, stay tuned. I'm about to jump off this bitch and then I'm gonna play some fuck. I think, you know what? I got so much Prince shit, man. I got his concerts, you know, the audio and video. But it's a new one that I downloaded from my spot. It's the Sign of the Times concert, but I think it's a rehearsal. I think I'm gonna listen to that, and I think I'm gonna go live. And by being a fucking rehearsal, YouTube shouldn't be trying to flag me because it's not official. So I think I'm gonna play that fucking concert, man. But anyway, man, y'all stay safe out there. Stay fucking warm. You know, keep your pets indoors. Right now, I think it feels like it's 7 below zero right now in the D. We snowed in like a motherfucker. Damn near. I'm sweating like a motherfucker trying to shovel this shit up, you know. But stay safe, stay warm, keep your pets indoors, check your motherfucking stove eyes. Make sure them motherfuckers is turned all the way fucking off. That's how much I fucking love y'all. Who else gonna tell y'all niggas to do that shit and check your goddamn, you know, stove? But I do that shit every night, my nigga. I check that shit, get you a carbon monoxide detector along with your smoke detector. It just make sure that you make, you know, double check your storm door, your armor guards, and your main door. Fortify them bitches, man. You never know when that devil gonna come lurking, when he gonna be lurking for you, and when he finds you. You gotta be properly savage ready to try to repel that demon that come your way. And these demons, they take many, many forms, and they can pop out any situation. But just beware that when that situation is upon you, get the fuck away from it. Get out of it, no matter what. Even if you look like a pussy, a coward, whatever. Be whatever that they may think you are. But you know you ain't that, because you really the smarter person, the brilliant person, the person that actually gives a fuck about them, their self, their lives, you know, and not what that don't give a fuck about what other people think of them. You see what I'm saying? You got to give a fuck about yourself. When you are confident in yourself, you're not gonna give a fuck. So take that right there and exit off that stage, because that's something that the devil have set up. And if you fall for that shit, you fall for the trap, the okie doke, your life can be gone. So many people is no longer here because they let a split-second decision out of anger. They made a split-second choice that cost them the rest of their life, man. And you just got to be careful. Now, here in D, within a month, we had 2 people get murdered, man, at a bar. The first incident, and I talked about it, the 2 brothers. One of the brothers went to the bar with his younger brother to celebrate a job promotion. Can you imagine going to a bar to celebrate that you have been promoted in your job, in your career, whatever. That's a good thing to celebrate. But he went to the bar, and guess what? He lost his life. He got shot to death. Shit is crazy how things in milliseconds can just switch up and change and go left. That's why I need y'all. Like, I don't give a fuck what type of incident it may be. It might not even be your fault. But they coming at you, walk away. The second incident, y'all ain't gonna believe this shit. If y'all remember my video, she just wanted to have a fun night. She ended up being killed by security at this club called Bloom. That's in Southfield, Michigan. And any of y'all that is familiar with Michigan, you know, Detroit, Southfield, back in the day, it used to be this very famous, well-known bar / club called Lucky's. It was called Lucky's. Well, Lucky's went out of business, and now it is Bloom. And they totally remodeled that bitch. But you had a young lady go to that lounge with her sister, her brother-in-law, which is her sister's husband, and her sister-in-law, which is her husband's sister. They went to that bar, Bloom's. Her sister and husband, her brother-in-law, the sister's husband, her brother-in-law, and her sister is her sister. I know I'm high, forgive me. They ended up getting into a physical fight. I think the husband hit her sister. So when she saw that shit, she started jumping on her sister's husband because he punched her sister. So when she jumps in, the husband's sister, which is her sister-in-law, jumps on her. So it was just one big ass fight. Security put them out. You could see them going to their cars. And the young lady, she pulled the gun. Security ordered her to lower her weapon. She didn't, and he shot her 6 times. And she lost her life over some bullshit. She lost her life because her sister's husband couldn't keep his hands to himself, and she jumped in. So I'm telling you right now, that family gonna be fucked up because the surviving sister gonna always blame her husband. They probably gonna get a divorce because she gonna blame him because you kicked off a situation that resulted in my sister being killed. He kicked that shit off. Chill out. So I'm just telling y'all, look, be safe, be savage ready. I love y'all. I'm about to end this bitch right here. Shout out to James Walker once again. I love you, brother. And I'm about to come live on some Prince shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got any requests? Hit me up. I love you, Gun Freak Nation. You feel me? Let me end this stream.